Mr. Casey, you are the plaintiff in this case. You are suing your neighbor, the defendant, Tomasz Dardzinski, for the cost of the removal of bamboo that you claim is growing in your neighbor's yard and it's invading your yard. You first noticed this problem about 2 years ago, bamboo shoots coming up in your yard. You had a nightmare of a time dealing with it. You saw that the source of the bamboo seemed to be coming from your neighbor, so you approached Mr. Dardzinski to deal with the problem, but he was no help to you. So you went out, got a landscaper, and had it repaired yourself, and that's why you're suing for $5,000. You also filed a complaint with the township, which had this new ordinance that prohibited this type of growth of bamboo and the invasion on neighboring yards. You, Mr. Dardzinski, you say, I'm a victim myself. I'm not the source of this bamboo invasion. It's coming from a third neighbor, the one on the other side of me. I've had to deal with this problem myself. I don't owe him anything. Now, Mr. Casey, why don't you start by telling us, how long have you been neighbors with Mr. Dardzinski?
I would say 15, 16 years. I was there when they moved in.
And what's going on the neighbor on the other side of him?
There's bamboo growing there also.
Now, does that bamboo extend from that house through his property into your property?
I would assume so, yes.
When you spoke with Mr. Dardzinski the first time about the problem, what did he respond to you?
So I went out to him. He was getting out of his car, and I said, we need to talk. I have a problem with your bamboo. It's coming into my yard. And he said, well, what do you want me to do? And I said, well, it's not mine. I don't want it.
Let me stop you there. Mr. Dardzinski, yes. Tell us about your own bamboo problem.
Well, I bought the house in 2009. At this point, there was no bamboo growing in my yard at all. I saw it growing at neighbor's yard south from me and east from me. So it didn't start growing in my yard till 2013. And, it grows in spring for 2-3 weeks. Every day, you got to come out, rip it from the ground. And I started doing research because I was going to sell the house at one point because it's a problem, especially with kids. And that's when I started doing research about it. When you seed the bamboo, you're supposed to put a bamboo guard in the ground, 3 feet on the ground. That's what prevents spreading. So I figured only thing I can do is put it by the fence, which I only did east side fence up to my pool equipment, and then it's a shed there on the left corner. That's next to Richard's yard.
So you didn't put the barrier up between your property and Richard's property?
No, only between mine and the neighbor east of me. You can look at the
maybe it'd be a good time to show the overhead view.
Okay. Should I come
You
up?
can see that picture right there on the screen?
Yeah.
You want to walk over there?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you some questions about that. The property that says Thomas, that's you, right?
Yes.
And Richard, that's the plaintiff, Richard Casey, right?
Yes.
And where it says neighbor A, that's who you're describing as the original source of this bamboo invasion, right?
Yeah.
So that bamboo that's on the back of your property, that's the source of the bamboo that's invading Mr. Casey's yard, right?
I mean, it's going from here and this neighbor D,
Yes.
I guess. And it stops by my yard. That's where I put my guard.
Mr. Dardzinski, I'm going to ask you to go back to the defense table there, and I'm going to try and point this out. So you provided some protection for your yard.
Yeah.
Okay. But it still grew along the backside of your yard. You just prevented it from going into your pool area.
I have a shed in the corner of my yard.
Okay.
Right by the pool.
All right.
That's where my yard meets the Richard's yard. I have a shed, and just bamboo grows behind the shed in the neighbor D.
But still on your property behind your shed is bamboo.
Not behind the shed, behind the fence.
You're saying there's no bamboo growing on your property?
Behind the shed, no.
Okay.
Because it's right against my fence.
So then I'm curious as to some of these notices that we saw in the plaintiff's exhibit where he filed a notice with the town.
Yeah.
You registered a complaint on May 9th, 2024 about a violation
Well,
of the ban.
I emailed the mayor. Then she sent down an engineer. He took pictures, inspected everything, looked at my property, how the bamboo was coming through the lawn. And then he said he would follow up, and I guess that's when he sent out the notice.